everybody to the second semi-final of the EWU Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. We did watch Clash and Lombard War Team Clash taking the victory. We now have Grumpy Old Men and Activit-E, and I am joined again by the very talented Adam from Time to Clash.
It is a pleasure to be here. First of all, I absolutely love working with you. Secondly, we both absolutely love these esports wars, especially the EWU. They've done a fantastic job in their recent events, and we're back in with the second semi-final. We've seen so much good stuff. A little bit of everything has happened today. And is there something else special that's going to happen here? I mean, every time I try and predict these things, and every time I never quite know what to do. And like I said, the prize here is a spot in the final against Clash to get that spot in the final tournament, which is pretty much the best of the best in the world. I mean, even just the recognition of making it there is a big deal.
It certainly is, but the war is underway, the first attack coming in. All of the information for the Elite Warrior United tournament will be down in the description. But Adam, we have the clan of Grumpy Old Men kicking this one off with the Yetis.
Yeah, so quite a few Yetis today, and very well executed with them. Funneling is everything. If you're looking at the raid here, 60 or 70% of the raid is decided by the funnel. If you've got a good funnel, you're off to a very good start. If you don't, it's quite often not going to get there. And obviously, that's one of the things we love about the pro clans. Even when they're using Yetis or whatever attack they're using, it's watching the development, watching them set up the funnel. And that Warden Walker's done a very sweet job clearing exactly what he wants on the corner. And a bowler to do some bowler bounces and clear the rest of the funnel, Judo.
Yeah, very classic way of setting up the funnel. Something that we always used to see with them mortars on the outside of the base. Something that isn't often able to be done now in terms of base design. But when it is, make sure you're still thinking about it. The clan knew that he could take advantage of that. Gets the funnel perfect, and the Yetis come straight into the middle towards the town hall, Adam.
And everything was exactly how he wanted it, but then the Tesla farm popped, and that Tesla's dragged some away. You've got to say, Stigler's brilliant base building by Hugo there, because the Teslas were out of range of everything that created the funnel, but then when the main force went in, they popped off, dragging bowlers, dragging the queen, and now those Yetis have got such a big task in the middle. Is there any chance?
They are very vulnerable. There's still a good chance here because the Yetis have the healers on them. They're going to get both scatter shots incredibly fast. The tornado trap and the Tesla farm, like you said, I think has done him a favor here. The Yetis are through the middle of this base and it's looking like a 3-star.
I'm actually impressed with this one. Those Yetis were just like, yeah, we've no queen, yeah, we've no bowlers, that's fine. We'll carry the weight, we've got the healers, which is what he wanted. They're doing some real work with the tanking on that top side, and what that's allowed the queen to do is just walk round. She's still got ability, she's just taking everything at her leisure. It's unbelievable, it's like he planned it.
It certainly is. The bowlers have helped to protect the Queen's ability, like you mentioned, and that is going to be vital coming down to the end of it. Even if the Yetis do not get through the walls, I think he's got this. Nice use of the minions as well to help force the Queen onto the defenses. We've got 30 seconds. Don't tell me it's going to be a time fail. Everything's going down quick. What a start for Grumpy Old Men.
And the guys in Activity will be sat there like, we messed up his funnel, our Tesla farm was perfect, what do we have to do? But it does go to show that, the best laid plans, sometimes it's all about what happens in those 3 minutes.
Activit-E with the Queen charge into Hog Riders. We did see some very impressive Queen charges in the first semi-finals. What are we going to see here? Battle Blimp to start us off, Adam.
Yeah, the Blimp went in. He actually managed to dodge the tornado trap, but it did just trigger. Slows down his Yetis, but the Yeti mites have done some work. So he's not going to get tremendous value, but I think he can argue that he did just about get enough. And he's already dealt with the tornado trap. He even picked off a little cheeky Tesla on the outside as well. I think he's actually going to be quite happy with that. Again, not quite what he was intended, but it worked out.
Well, sometimes you get the look, sometimes you don't. I feel like Activit-E needed a bit of a reward because of what happened in that previous attack, but he does get off to a good start, pulls the clan castle as well. The Yeti at the end just about got in the radius to get that. Baby Dragon will create the funnel for the Queen to come up to the town hall. You can see exactly where she will go. It's a pretty good start for Activit-E.
Yeah, I think they'll be quite happy with that one, even with, in fact, especially with the tornado trap, because they now know they're not going to have to deal with that later on. And as you know, on a hog raid, the tornado trap is lethal, so they will be very happy with that. Archer's doing a fine job there, setting him up on that top side, and there goes that super wall breaker. It's so brave because you know it's getting to where it's meant to be. Rolls in, takes the damage, and opens up that base.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Gets the town hall, but then the super wall breaker has opened up the area for the queen to come forward, and look at what she can get. Enemy queen, all of these defenses, but she is taking a lot of damage, has to pop the ability, and now the hog riders come in because we need to keep the queen alive. Enemy queen does come across to the hog riders though, Adam. We've got the royal champion. Can she be the savior here?
In that rage, she's actually not that bad against the queen, especially when our queen comes and helps us out. We've used our ability. I did wonder if he'd try and freeze the point defenses on the top side and keep the queen up, but I think he's decided that the queen's done what she needs to do, and now we're going to rely on the hogs to finish this one off.
Do we have enough though? Giant bombs, the bomb tower, everything going off on the hog riders. It is a good job that the heal was there ahead of time, but that deadly area of Grumpy Old Men's base will prove to be the defining factor in this one, and it means that Activit-E will slip behind early on, but we did see within the qualifying rounds up until this point, they know how to come back, and they know how to come back strong.
Yeah, and you've got to give, again, credit to the defender here. Look at this backside. You can see there was a giant bomb in the 4 o'clock compartment, a giant bomb in the center compartment, and then a double bomb with the bomb tower in the backside. I think they kind of expected a hybrid or a hog attack in those areas, and they were exactly right. So even, whatever happened with the queen, you've got to say he handled the ground portion of that raid very well. So well done to Grumpy Old Men, earning that defense there. And now let's see if they can answer back with an offense.
So here we go, Grumpy Old Men, they're off to a good start. Can they get another triple and put themselves even further in the lead? This is what they did in their previous matchup, started off with 2 triples. Can they do it again?
Well, let's see. They are in live here. Let's set it going in here. And in he goes with that Warden Walk. Interesting, got 1 Max Valk in that mix there just to help his king make that start down that bottom side and see if he picks up any of the ground skellies. Interesting setup here with that Warden's going exactly where he wants to. Looks like he's got the angles he likes.
Yeah, he's going to get a beautiful funnel with that Grand Warden, but he's taking a lot of damage here. You don't want that ability going off. Oh, and it does! The Grand Warden's ability goes off, doesn't get any Yetis. That is huge moving forward.
And that is just absolutely brutal. The Warden could not have been any further away from the Arch Tower, but still in range. He was on the absolute pixel that kept him in range. If he's out of range, he's absolutely fine, but staying in range of that Arch Tower forces the ability. And now, again, we know again, these players know it straight away. We're on sort of damage control here. Get a good 2-star.
The Royal Champion did get the single target Inferno at the bottom. We were looking like it could be very close to the 1-star. We had the scatter shot in the middle, take down the Yetis. Royal Champion had the single target Inferno on her, but she survived with the littlest bit of health and gave him a lifeline. The 2-star will be secured. Nightmare for Grumpy Old Men, but they are still in the lead by a star, Adam. What are you thinking at this point? Would you rather be Activit-E with the higher percentage and the extra attack, or would you rather be Grumpy Old Men with the 3-star?
You'd always rather the star. It's easy to look at percentage, it's easy to look at the extra attack, but if you've got that 3-star on the board, if you've got that triple, you're in the ascendancy. You've got control. It's yours to do with what you want there. You know what I mean? Whereas the other team then has to make a triple. You always want that extra star. I've got to say as well, it was a nightmare. You're absolutely right, but quick reactions. Yes, a little bit, the champ very close, but still manages to pull it back, still gets 65. It's low. We know it's low. We're not going to pretend it's anything else, but at the same time, does everything that he can, because he knows that Grumpy Old Men are still in a good place with the lead.
Yeah, and it's going to be close to 70. Looks like it'll be 69. The Archer might even get the Siege Workshop. So 70%, it is a lower percentage. But like you mentioned, they've got the 3-star in the bag. I think they're still pretty happy here. However, we know the talent of these teams. We know that Activit-E put up numerous 3-stars in their previous matchups. So if they get a 3-star, we're looking at a scenario that we talked about in the other semi-finals. that even though they're a star behind, because they've got that percentage, they could easily leapfrog Grumpy Old Men here.
And BN is in live.
We're going back to the Yetis, Adam. A lot of people seem to have the Sneaky Goblins unlocked this week as well. I'm seeing that a lot. Sneaky Goblins and the Super Wall Breakers. Do you feel they are the two that is most used at this point?
Definitely, although I will admit, I thought we would see a couple more barbs. The barb is a very good funnel troop. It can literally take down any building by itself on the outside, including defenses. And I thought it might appear a little bit on the defensive clan castles, which it really hasn't so far. I agree, I do think the Super Wall Breaker is without a doubt the strongest. The Goblin is the second strongest, so it makes sense. But I did think we'd see a couple more barbs in the mix. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I thought so, because I thought we might see a lot of the players mixing things up so that they could donate to each other if need be, and trying to get a bit of a split across the team. Nevertheless, the Sneaky Goblins do help to get the storages down very quick here, which is one thing you have to do with a Yeti Smash attack. You cannot time fail. He's spent a lot of time with this Grand Warden Walk, but I would say rewarded, Adam, because the Eagle Artillery goes down early on.
Yeah, brilliant to get the Eagle down. He'll be very happy with that. So obviously the Eagle over the course of a 2-minute Yeti Smash does a phenomenal amount of damage when you add it all up. So yeah, very high value building, probably the highest value building other than the Town Hall. And forwards we go into that base. It's tight. Everybody's in the rage. He's ready for that tome and he can hit everybody with it. This is a very sweet start.
It is, and I feel the Hog Riders out of the siege barracks are doing a phenomenal job, just sniping off the buildings on the outside, keeping the wizards protected, but most importantly, keeping the Yetis and Bowlers in the middle. They charge forward towards that Town Hall. Fantastic freeze spell to get not just 1, 2, but 3 defenses, one of them being the scatter shot, and when that goes down, this then means we are ever so closer to a 3-star and response from Activit-E, Adam.
Yeah, and the control here has been brilliant. He's got everybody into that Town Hall compartment right where he wants them. This is where the control starts to fade away, though. Now he doesn't have the choice of where they go. Now we've got to see how quickly can we get to that single target. It's locked onto the healers right now, which isn't such a bad thing. We don't really mind our healers tanking the Inferno at this stage, but somebody has to get in there and finish it, and it is the champ.
Does it? Royal Champ stepped up phenomenally. Now, it's unfortunate that he had to use the ability at the top. The Seeking Shield could have got through it. 25 seconds, no buildings on the opposite side, making sure to check this time, Adam. But I think we have that response and the leapfrog from Activit-E. What a phenomenal attack we had.
Come on, Warden. It's all about the Warden now. Where does he go?
Queen gets it, my friend. Queen gets it. 3 stars it is. BN is the player you recommended. What an absolute beast. It is going to be the Dragbat. We've seen them use this earlier on, and it was indeed Robinho who used the Dragbat for the 3 stars.
And it's bizarre. When Town Hall 13 came out, the bats disappeared out of the meta in a second. The scatter shots and even the Royal Champion made a big difference to the defensive meta. However, now we're seeing more ground expos. We're seeing single target Infernos, and the bats are back. They're not everywhere, they're not in every attack, but against the right base, we see some fantastic triples with them. And as you mentioned, Grumpy Old Men seem to have the bat nailed. They know when to use it.
They do, and look at that Royal Champion's ability. Manages to get a sweeper in the center of the base. We do have beautiful pathing set up with the King and Royal Champion, Queen, and just that one giant down to the other side. You can clearly see he's wanting the dragons to come to the Town Hall early on. No sweeper, but 3 single target Inferno towers. We are expecting something special from the bats here.
We are, and I love it. It's the touches that make the raids here. He puts that Queen down. We know the Queen's going to clear the air defense, everything that we were intending. But then he puts 1 dragon down with the Queen, starts the funnel already. Why wait? Why do things 1 stage at a time? Why not having them work in unison? And that's a very good play there to get him started. Now, obviously, the air defense is up, so that dragon doesn't do too much more. But the killer is here. We've got the CC out, and I don't think that was part of the plan.
I don't think it was. The Barbarian King did indeed pull the queen in range. He's thinking about this, uses the archer. I thought potentially we were going to see the dragon come in. Since the Barbarians pulled the Lava Hound out of its radius, the archer has gone down, has it? It does. So the Ice Golem and the Lava Hound left in the middle of the base. That could be crucial. No, it's not. Another archer by Robinho. What a brilliant adaptation. But do we have enough time, Adam? Has that cost him?
Certainly cost him, but you've got to say he handled the Ice Golem and the Hound as best as he could at the start there. He has to use the Ice Golem. He doesn't want to. He'd quite like to leave them out of the way.
Ooh,
but
the
he has
bats
to use
went
those
down
Ice
pretty
Golems.
quick.
Oh, they did. They struggled, didn't they?
Oh, sorry, Adam. I just seen the bats taking a huge amount of damage at the top, and that will be the defining factor. The scatter shot ripping them apart, and you can see how close it is. But the fact that the bats have gone down just means he now has no chance.
And I have a feeling there is a Tesla up at 2 o'clock here that pulled the champion onto her. And I get the feeling that Tesla changed this raid. I'm almost certain the champion was meant to get in for the scatter shot and the Inferno down there. Now, she managed to get the Inferno, but wasn't able to get the scatter shot. And that is what took down the bats. And you can see with Dragons, they got where they were meant to be. You just feel that if those bats could have, if that scatter shot's not there, the bats survive. And I think that's a 3-star. And again, just tiny little things. And that Tesla did more than it could be expected in messing up that champion entry. And it's Mr. Hugo not going for the closing attack. He's in for the 3rd attack. What do we think about that?
Well, it's very interesting. Maybe he just feels really confident on this base, and maybe they thought to themselves, if we get another 3-star now, that can really put the distance, put the pressure on grumpy old men, and that might make them crumble. I think that's what they're going for, because we've seen Hugo Stiglitz get that final 3-star against J-Off, get them into this position, so you would think you would save him until last. A nice start on this one though, Adam.
Yeah, indeed. He's got what he wanted on that entry. Queen's going to get inside and beautifully take down that scatter shot. He's now moving the Ice Golems right out of the way, which is absolutely fine. He's very happy with that. Doesn't want them on the Queen. If that Queen can sneak a building, that's fine. We'll take it. 2 minutes and 13 on the clock, and he's already cleared pretty much that entire third of the base, that entire slice from sort of 10 o'clock right down to 4 o'clock.
You're absolutely right. It looks phenomenal for the Lalo. Still got 2 minutes left, and the Lava Loon tends to be a pretty quick attack. We have all of the balloons coming in. Definitely a mass balloon parade on this one. 3 Lava Hounds and more balloons out of the Stone Slammer. Everything to that Town Hall. The Tornado Trap gets them, but we need a good Warden ability. Gets majority of the balloons, but some of them will go down. Is that going to be costly, or has the entry got him the start needed to get this?
And the killer here is that sweeper. That one sweeper in the middle is just buffeting him all the way, including the Warden. I feel that the Warden ability would have got every loon, but obviously 5 or 6 went down as the Town Hall exploded. The question is exactly as you put it. Did the start do enough to allow us that little bit of flexibility?
Oh, well, brilliant adaptions. We keep talking about it. A couple of loons got the single target Inferno, which really helped, and the skeleton spell, no longer needed for the Queen, tanks the Wizard Tower. 1 minute left. I feel confident in saying that I'm not going to jinx this one. 1 minute with another Skelly spell, with another loon and minion. We expected nothing less from Hugo Stiglitz. He will put that victory much closer in sight for Activit-E. Just incredible end to this attack, Adam.
I don't use the word God much. I feel that it's, I think it's thrown around a little bit too easily, but I'm writing it in my chat. Hugo God, he is phenomenal. Like, both his attacks in both of these wars, it would have been fails in anybody. It would have been fails in my hands, and both of them are triples. Activity. Whatever you did to get him back in the game, congrats, because that has paid off already.
Scuba it is. With the Yetis, we're seeing these quite a lot, seeing quite a varying in success rate with them as well. It's interesting that we have the Royal Champion used initially, potentially a little bit late on that freeze, but in fact the Royal Champion gets back up to pretty much full health, and that's really good. I always like to see things a little bit off the meta, and a Sui Royal Champion is definitely a good option on this base.
Now then, let's see how he adapts to this. You can see he used the goblins to create the funnel, which was brilliant. However, the Tesla farm popped and changed it all. So he puts in that extra Yeti. Man, it's very controlled there. Puts in that Yeti, deals with the Tesla and the Archer Tower, which gets him back on track. Now, it is a little bit scary still with the inside buildings. He's hoping the Queen hops the wall first. But you've got to say, Scummer, no panic whatsoever there. Just puts that Yeti down as if he always intended to. And he's back in the game.
He is. It's an interesting approach to put the 2 balloons in where he did, next to the air defense. I thought we might have seen them coming in just that little bit later, trying to protect things. We've got straight pathing of the battle blimp to the town hall with that Grand Warden's ability. Always nice when you can tag that to get to that town hall, but Skelly traps pop. That should go down. We have lost a lot of force moving through the base with the Yetis though, Adam, in terms of that 3-star.
Fantastic stuff by the King, though, breaking through that wall. It gets his troops right back where he wants them. Bear in mind, they have to assist the bats. As strong as the bats are, he needs some tanking from his Yetis and his King. Is he going to have enough with where they are? It looks like he does, because there are so few splash damages there. And you can see he's already got the Ice Golem in for the Wizard Tower. Has he turned this back around?
I think he might have. Such a beautiful timing on that Ice Golem to protect all of the bats. We do have the Queen's ability, but nothing protecting the final Wizard Tower. So the crucial part here, Adam, I think he's going to get the defenses, but does he have time if the bats go down? That is the question. They get to that Wizard Tower now, and it's going to be close.
Ouch, we saw it. The Wizard Tower wound up, managed to clip most of the bats, and then finished off on the second shot. Oh, wow. Has he done enough yet?
45 seconds, Adam. Now it's a race against the clock. We really could have done with the bats to clean up. That's what he wanted. Wanted the Yetis to take that entire area with the splash. They moved away like we said earlier, but it's looking good and he's wrecking this base. I think we might be looking at the triple and the comeback for Grumpy Old Men.
Now, luckily, Judo hasn't lagged. Whatever internet problems you have, you've just given them me. I haven't lost the stream, but I did just disconnect a tiny second from there. So you talk us through. Did we get a triple? You have no image here. It's got to be the best commentary ever.
Well, there is one building left. Down it goes. And the 3-star for Grumpy Old Men means we do have the comeback. Time very nearly a factor after losing the bats. But what a turnaround. And the comeback is on. Well, we've got Remy coming in for Activit-E, using the Lalo, similar to what we've seen from Hugo Stiglitz earlier on. You know that it has the capability of the 3-star, so let's find out if Remy can get this. Maybe they can stop Grumpy Old Men in their tracks. They think they've got the comeback coming on. Can Remy be the one to stop that happening?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I just got to shout out as well. We're calling it Grumpy Old Men. It is Grumpy Old Kitties. Hello Kitty with DE Splittergale, with Grumpy Old Men. Those guys expanding their player base to get the best talent out there, and it is paying off here with this epic semi-final against some of the best in the world over in Activit-E. We've got that Sui entry, and he gets the town hall with it. How huge is that when you don't have to use the tome, and you've not really spent anything to get it?
It is massive because it means if your balloons start to split, you've got that tome. If they get in range of a couple of splash damages, you've got that tome. We do have the Royal Champion taking the scatter shot, getting damage onto the Eagle, but most importantly alongside that, helping with pathing for the Lalo. Unfortunately, lures some of the CC though.
Check this out, 3 Skelly spells. 1 is all you need. Quite a lot of people take 2 for the security. Taking 3 though, I think he's looking to get the Royal Champion with one of them as well.
Royal Champ, we seen earlier on with Hugo Stiglitz, you can use it to tank any of the splash damages, even take out an area where the single is. And there's that Grand Warden's ability we referenced earlier, when your balloons start to split. It just means you've got maximum coverage. It looks good for Remy, Adam. Using the freeze on the Eagle Artillery, Stone Slammer coming in. There's not a lot of base left here, but the Eagle could prove one of the defining factors.
I mean, it's unbelievable. The Royal Champion defended that 11 o'clock air defense so well, but the plan was so good. He got so much from the entry, he could afford to lose a couple of loons. Some of them backtracked, and it made no difference, because now the Slammer's going to pop. We're going to get 9 more loons to finish off the 3 defenses. As long as we blast quickly into that Eagle, we should be good.
We should be, and look at where the haste is left over. Perfectly primed, selected for the balloons to come through. Take out the Eagle Artillery. The defending Royal Champion on defense could be the savior for Grumpy Old Men. Keep the comeback on because she will turn to the balloons. That could be crucial, but 95, the percentage is racking up. Down she goes. Is it enough, Adam?
I don't know, this one minion's got his work cut out, and you've got to throw it out there. That minion's not maxed. If this is a time fail, questions will be asked. Could he have popped a potion? How much difference would it have made? The elixir storage has nothing on it. He might get those buildings up at 3 o'clock, but he's not getting the storage. Man, it's a beautiful hit. Good little recovery, because definitely that Royal Champion on the air defense proved a much bigger problem than he anticipated. But we've got a 98. Whatever happens on this hit, we will be going to the final hit. Even a triple here will not guarantee the win, and Activit-E will have the chance to get it back. Evil Pineapple will do what he can. He'll go for the triple, but who knows what happens on that final hit.
Oh, I cannot wait. How does it keep getting better and better? We think we've seen it all, and it just keeps getting better. Starting with the Battle Blimp on this one, it is a phenomenal start, Adam. Getting the single, but also the Eagle and the entire northern area down, ready for the Dragons.
We absolutely love this Electron. It's one of our favourite attacks. It's just a beautiful thing to see. And as you can see there, the E-Drag does some good work, but it also tanks a few buildings, which allows the champ to get slightly more as well. So by using them in unison, like things like Archer Towers and Wizard Towers that can only hit one or the other, were tanked up. That was a very good play there. And he's cleared a big chunk of defences at that top side.
Certainly has. One of them defenses was an air defense as well with the Seeking Shield. That could be crucial moving through the middle of this base. We do have single target Infernos, but we've got an Ice Golem to tank. We've got 3 freeze spells, and you've got to say, we have beautiful pathing for the Dragons, and here they come.
Yeah, and we've got the King and Queen to clear the funnel. We expected that. But he's brought an Ice Golem with them. He thinks that the Ice Golem can get him right down to that 6 o'clock area and into the heroes.
Oh, the King was locked onto the single. He needs that King for the pathing, and he stepped out of the way of the single target Inferno as if he knew. Beautiful Grand Warden's ability for the Dragons as well. How quickly can they get round to that final single?
Yeah, fantastic, Tom. Hit everything. The killer here, and you've seen it already. Some of the Dragons have been dragged onto the Ice Golems, so they're getting hit by the freeze. They're also now not where he needs them. He wants them higher up. He's got to get to that air defense and that single target Inferno. He's got tons of hit points left, but these Dragons are getting picked off one by one. He needs a team of them higher up into the base.
He certainly does, and you can't help but wonder, is it slipping away from Grumpy Old Kitty? Is it going to be enough? They're certainly fighting for every single last scrap of percentage they can get in order to try and give themselves the best chance. It is going to be upwards of 80% here, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the 3-star, and it means it might be Activit-E who can secure it in the end. If they get a 3-star, they win it outright.
Yeah, and I think at this stage, any decent 2-star will as well. Maybe if it's below 60, we'll have to check that. But I think any decent 2-star will be enough for Activit-E. They're in a super strong position. However, you've got to flip this around and say that also puts the pressure on them. They know that they should be able to get it. And we do sometimes see those little goosebumps arrive. We will see. Evil Pineapple does a good job. He pushes the percentage as high as possible. He's going to get very close to 90, but it isn't enough for the triple.
Well, we've gone back to the Yetis, Adam. We've mentioned the super troops throughout this war. We've commonly seen the sneaky goblins and the super wall breakers, which is what's used in this attack.
Yeah, indeed. And as you can see, that town hall, it's no actual walls in between the town hall and a queen, so he can possibly just queen walk into this one, but I get the feeling he's going to just go for the Yeti, big push in there. We've already cleared one side of the funnel using that blimp bomb there, and I get the feeling that we're going to queen walk towards the town hall, but then meet up with the Yetis on that gold storage, and then just push in to that jump and get ourselves inside.
Yes, and the one wizard pulled some of the archers out of the way, which is going to mean there's greater time on this. Uses a wizard in order to try and speed things up. I know the archers weren't really going to be a problem for the queen, but we've seen how close some attacks can be, and that could have been a factor.
Interesting, the queen is on the wrong side of that wall, but look, oh, that king drags the queen back the right way. Oh, sometimes you get that little bit of luck. Now, I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but getting that queen back on the inside track, iPro could not have asked for anything more there. He'll be delighted with how that went.
Certainly will, and look at that super wall breaker, like you mentioned, Adam, opens up that town hall compartment, and then we can use the jump to get into the middle. Yeti's going on a little bit of a walk here. We're getting close to that 2-star, and remember, around about the 60% will secure it for Activit-E.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there the volley of traps went off. Everything was on that top side, including the tornado. But eventually, the Yetis with the healers could just sit it out. They have got a lot of hit points, very tanky with the healers, and they're able to soak up every little trick that we had up there. And there is the 57. It's onwards to the finals for Activit-E.
It certainly is. They really pounce into the lead here at the end, not just getting the 60, getting well above. With the Royal Champion's ability left over, Adam, it's getting close for a 3-star.
Yeah, are we finishing in style here? iPro, he's not content. He's like, yeah, I'll get you the 2-star, guys, but I'm still going for the 3. I don't care what you say. Pride at stake here, and he's crushing through. Queen gets the Wizard Tower. Champ's going to do it. Warden's on full health. He's got everything that he needs here. Plenty of cleanup. What a way to finish.
What a way to finish indeed. It just proves how vital the Seeking Shield is at the end when you can use it on the outside of the base. All of the key high HP defenses down. Seeking Shield slams through the rest of them and ensures that percentage is not even a factor. Activit-E going out with a bang with the 3 stars, and that will move them into the final of this qualifier. What an amazing war, 96.8%.